What's going on, world? It's your boy Gemini Brown here, back with another episode of Nalo Kicking Knowledge. Today, we'll be doing Venus and Virgo, and we're down to the last two Venus signs, and that is Virgo and Pisces. And in the sign of Virgo, Venus is debilitated, and in the sign of Pisces, Virgo, Venus is exalted. So when it comes to debilitated planets and exalted planets, you want to ask yourself, what is, based on the qualities of the planet, why is the planet's qualities being stifled by this energy, or why is it being enhanced? How do they fit together? And it's my belief that through that you can find a real deeper understanding of the planet itself, as well as the sign, but more specifically that overall planet. So if you don't know, Venus is a sign of love, creativity, pleasure, beauty, and forming relationships. And Virgo is the sign of service, um, discernment, critical discernment. Okay, um, being critical to really assess the flaws in something or someone. Um, Virgo, the sign of Virgo is represents a healer. Okay, the having the ability to heal and things of that nature, and it's very a very health conscious sign. So why is Venus debilitated here? And one reason I will give you, and I want you to think about the rest, is that in love, to in love, the highest expression of love, or act in love, I believe, is sacrifice. Sacrificing some type of happiness or something of that nature for in the name of love, right? Venus in Virgo says no. No. The I need to understand my lover and break them down to a T, and let them know their flaws. So instead of recognizing the flaws and overlooking them, Venus and Virgo is paying attention to the flaws, and that takes away from being able to love at its highest potential, right? So that's one thing. These guys tend to be critical of their partners and attract partners who may be critical of them. If not just partners, they may um, just have people in their lives that have always been critical of them. Venus and Virgo, really, like it's a health conscious sign. And Venus has to do with like beauty and things. So what it does is makes the person very self-critical. Okay? Um Leo, Venus and Leo, um, you know, they how they put themselves together, it's kind of effortlessly. They're going on how they feel, and they already look at everything as like, a big event. So they want to be looking their best at the big event. The Venus in Virgo, when dressing themselves, oh my God, it may take them hours, because they're really, really self-conscious. So, you know, you may have somebody who has Venus and Virgo that struggle with their weight, right? You have some people out there, they'll be big their whole lives and never were made to feel like they were big. And then you have others who got reminded that they were big every day of their lives. And this right here is a way to understand why that is. Why doesn't every big person, get told about themselves and things of that nature? But more importantly, the Venus in Virgo is aware of their image and how they're projecting themselves to the world. So it's a lot. You know, Moon. This isn't a good place for Moon, I say, because especially if the person hasn't learned to ground themselves, and this is obviously due to the debilitation. It isn't a good place for Venus because Venus isn't expressing that love and that beauty how it should. It's critical and self conscious. So you know, Venus and Virgo, their relationships have a lot of potential, and here's another thing with it. It's like the debilitation can cause one to not realize what they have. Okay? So these people, due to that critical nature of others, since they're focusing on that, on the flaws, they're not embracing enough of the positive qualities because they're perfectionists. So based on where this Venus is in the person's house and how it's being aspected, and don't get me wrong, aspects and conjunctions completely change the dynamics of Venus and Virgo. Um, the conjunctions can take away the debilitation. Aspects can and ease the things related to that. All right. So with these guys, they may not be able to see what it is that they have, and this is how I you know I hate to single it out, but it's a high chance that this Venus will cheat on their spouse. And they're cheating due to unfulfillment. They're not finding fulfillment in the relationship. Neither are they finding fulfillment in themselves, so they may step out. Um, you know, to give an example of how you can really use this Venus positive qualities based on house and things like that. I have a really good friend that is about to publish her first novel, and this friend has Venus and Virgo in the eighth house. No other planets in the eighth, being aspected by Saturn, who is debilitated, right? And what this did, eighth house, is a house of transformation. So for a while, the person was embodying a lot of these negative Venus qualities, and as far as fail relationships, infidelity in relationships, and this person got into prostitution, stripping, and things of that nature. But the Saturn return came along, and once the Saturn return came along, the person realized it was now time to grow up. It was now time to release Venus from the eighth house. And what is after the eighth house? The ninth house. So through higher learning and overall just creativity, this person started to write the experiences and eventually crafted it into a book. And at this point in time, she's transforming out of that eighth house into the higher aspect of Venus in Virgo. Okay? So, Mercury represents writing and all of that. So she used that energy, right, to make sense of everything that was happening in that eighth house And the book is her ticket out into a new embodiment of Venus in Virgo. I hope that makes sense. So, my advice in working with this position is to look at the opposite side. And I will always say this about when it comes to the Venus and Virgo axis. Out of all the axes, these two signs need to work with each other the most. So I believe that you should drop your critical nature of your partner, right? And to embrace the flaws, right? Now, here's one thing I definitely enjoy about Venus and Virgo is that they don't fall for the bullshit or the charm. You're going to have to really prove your love or whatever you're telling to them, right? But be more romantic and less realistic. Infuse your relationships with imagination, spirituality, all right? Make it more exciting because Venus and Virgo tends to feel unfulfilled. And if married, this always usually leads to divorce. So it's the best advice I can give is to embrace that Pisces energy, that Pisces outlook. All right, guys. This is my interpretation of Venus and Virgo. I hope you enjoyed that. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, feel free to do so. Until next time, peace.